Hi, I'm
Hi.
Andy. Okay, this is going to be great. Hi, I'm Andy, and this is our East Tennessee, where we share the stories of people who call this place home. Today, I'm with Jan Charles from Greenville, Tennessee, and we're going to have a conversation about what East Tennessee means to her. Jan, tell me a little bit about your family, who you are, where you grew up.
I grew up here. Our family has been here for 12 generations, but my children make it 13. I am descended from both Daniel Boone and William Bean. They first scouted the area in the 1760s. Um, couldn't wait to get home. I lived other places for a while, but I wanted to raise my children here. So I am living here happily and raising my children here.
That is awesome. So, your family has some really deep roots here.
Very deep roots, yes. Both sides of my family are from East Tennessee, my dad's side and my mother's side. Um, both Washington County, Greene County, Carter County, Unicoi, you name it, we're all up in this area. So we've been here for quite some time. So if there's a name in East Tennessee, we probably are related to it. Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, you've built quite a following on YouTube with your cooking show.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So tell me a little bit about what is a dish that takes you back to your childhood immediately?
Oh, gosh. Anything my grandmother made, that's an automatic win. So if you see me on YouTube, I'm probably pulling from something my grandmother made. Most recently, I duplicated her potato salad. Um, but I also am about to shoot her meatloaf because I have to do Granny's meatloaf. You'll hear me talking about Granny's deviled eggs all the time. Pretty classic Southern as far as that goes. I do just about anything that she made happily. Probably the most iconic thing that she made though was her biscuits and gravy. And I feel like anything that starts with a pound of sausage and a stick of butter is probably the best you can get.
That is awesome. What do you remember most about those moments with her?
It was with her. It was my earliest memory, and it was sitting on the counter with a mixing bowl and dipping my hand in it, which And I had to do it before my grandfather came back because he was much more strict, and Granny was the one that would let me do anything I wanted. And it was that the unconditional love. I got to do whatever I wanted. She would allow it.
What makes Southern cooking here in East Tennessee different or special from other areas?
Oh, well, there's a ton. This area, it's not just Southern cooking here. This is Appalachian, and so people here made do often with not a lot, and it meant that folks here were able to make the most out of every single bit, and it led to some very creative things, very creative cooking, and it was very much a no waste philosophy, and I love that. I've really tried to mimic that, and it stood me well. Our family had some rough patches, and it stands you well when you know how to work a budget till it screams, and I like that. And Southern cooking, of course, is very generous and it's big in flavor, but Appalachian cooking, especially, means that you're very thrifty, but that your flavors are big and bold as well.
So, can you tell me about a moment in the kitchen that really sticks out beyond your grandmother there, but a moment that just really sticks out?
All of my children can cook, but I think the biggest is one of my children, Ricky. He loves to cook. They all can cook, but he loves to cook, and I think the biggest with him was when I was teaching him how to make bread, um, and it just kind of caught with him, and you could see it. Um, I like to cook with ratios. I like to kind of free people from recipes. I don't want them to learn recipes. I want them to learn how ingredients interact. And when he kind of clued in that there's a 3-5 water to flour ratio, you could see it click. And then suddenly he's making bread. You don't even have to have a mixing bowl. You can just pull the ingredients together. It's kind of magic, and he caught the magic.
How fun.
Yeah.
How fun. All right. What made you decide to start sharing those recipes and things on YouTube?
Um, that was initially, it was Facebook. It started with Facebook in 2009. people knew I could cook, and lots of people were asking me how to make a turkey. It was right at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I had typed the method out so often that I finally just shot a video. And somebody said you should put it on YouTube, and I did. And it was fun because I'm kind of a ham and grew up on TV and never met a camera I didn't want to be in front of. And it started there. And it was fun at first, and then I got calls from WVLT and WJHL. And it just kind of evolved from that point. And later on, it was something that I was able to do at home and support the kids, and I had a big family, so being able to work from home was a godsend. So it was really something that was kind of a blessing to my entire family. So
Did you expect it to grow the way that it has?
not in a million years. That was incredibly unexpected, and it took me to some very unexpected places. I was incredibly grateful. You it's one of those kind of, you want to hear God laugh, make a plan, and that's exactly what happened with a lot of things. Since I moved back to East Tennessee, wouldn't have seen where things went for me ever, but I'm kind of glad it did. It's been really, really fun.
Wow. So what was the moment like when you realized, wow, this is really reaching people?
When Food Network called,
Okay, that would do it.
That was fun. I walked into the kitchen and there was a phone number I didn't recognize, and of course I didn't pick it up. And it was a voicemail from Food Network, and they wanted to see if I could come out, and actually it was just some voiceover work at first. And I would, of course, again, never a camera I didn't like. And so that's where it went, and I was glad.
Wow. So do you feel like you're preserving something through your cooking? What are you sharing?
Well, yes, actually, Appalachian foodways, for one. I think that's very important. I think that the culture is incredibly important, so that's a big deal. I don't want that to get lost. And of course, in our family, a lot of the way that my grandmother and her mother, we don't eat that way on a regular basis anymore. But I don't want it to get lost either. So I do want that those recipes and those traditions and those methods, I do want them preserved so that eventually my grandchildren and their children will at least know how things were. Even if we don't continue to eat that way all the time, they'll know the way that those flavors tasted. They'll know the methods. They'll be able to at least reference those so that that little bit gets preserved.
And why do you think East Tennessee, our region of Appalachia, has such a strong sense of tradition around food?
Oh, well, it's very productive. It's rich and productive. Our soil was actually not. My grandfather had a great garden. He had orchards. He had chickens. He, raised animals. There was such a variety here. So, I mean, there was a lot to choose from, and I remember him, he was very formal. He would wear jeans, but he was always a button-up t-shirt. And I remember him walking out into the garden with a salt shaker in his pocket, and that was how he would determine if the tomatoes or the corn was ready. And so there was so much to choose from that there was so much to work with. And so the gardens and the produce and the animals and that all led to such a tremendous development of culture around food. I mean, I made my first apple pie with my grandmother when I was 5,
Oh, wow.
So that leads to a variety that I don't think you get in a whole lot of other places. And then you've got Appalachia itself, which is such a melting pot of, we have Scots-Irish and French and German, and I mean, you name it. It ended up here, and you put that and shake it all up, and you've got a tremendous food tradition.
All right, some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh no.
What's a recipe everyone should know how to make?
Everybody needs to know how to make a pan sauce. It takes 5 seconds, and it will transform something simple and kind of boring into just elevate it and make it delicious.
What's something about Southern culture that you hope never changes?
Hospitality, that needs to stay the same.
What do family meals mean to you?
Chaos. There was a lot of us. There was a lot growing up, and there was more when my children came along. So it was loud, but it was always happy.
And what's something your parents or grandparents taught you that stays with you?
Oh, integrity. Yeah, integrity. That was the core of who they were.
And what does East Tennessee mean to you?
Home. I mean, it's just rock solid. This is who we are, where we came from, and it's where I hope we always will be. I mean, this is just it.
Yeah. And if you were going to make a recommendation for someone we should talk to next, who would you recommend?
Oh gosh. All right, you got me on that one.
That's all right.
You got me on that one. I think you probably should hit one of the ladies from either Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Greenville, because we've got some good ones. I would probably talk to Dick and Donna Parrott down there. That's a good one. Or one of the ladies from the Daughters of the American Revolution, Nola Chucky chapter. You talk about some ladies that know some stories. That's it right there.
Very fun. And Jan, how can people find you?
I am on YouTube at Jan Charles, or on Janice Charles, Janis. You can find me both places. I'm easy. I'm all over the place.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you.